Hey comic fans, welcome back to the Comic Fix, your one-stop shop for every single thing DC Comics, to some creator-owned to a little bit Marvel. My name's David and welcome to the Comic Fix. Now it is week 32 of the Comic Fix, and I got a new batch of comics to review for you guys today. Now I'm going to be doing my independent comics to my Marvel comics, and there's only 3 of them that I got this week from independents to Marvel. So starting off things with Bedlam issue number 3. Bedlam, wow. Wow. Nick Spencer. He is creating a world that is so dark and twisted. It's Nick Spencer's going into a mind of a person who represents almost like the Joker. If you think about the Joker, he's just so twisted, and every single writer that writes him just goes into their dark, inner dark spot places in their heart and just brings out something beautiful and twisted. Well, that's what Nick Spencer is doing in Bedlam. It feels like he's taking a character just like the Joker and making him rehabilitated. And what does that mean? And it's a twisted, dark place that Nick Spencer's taking us into. We open up the book with a point of Matter Red getting rehabilitated for the very first time. And the first thing he has to work on is companionship. And so we see this nurse just go and bring Matter Red a kitten. And there's certain things in movies to books to anything that we could see a human get killed and not think anything of it. But when we see a cat or a dog or any type of animal get injured or killed in any type of movie to book, we instantly just get this something in our mind that tells us this is wrong and this is terrible. And so this nurse brings Matter Red a kitten. And what does Matter Red do? Basically gets the cat, goes and hits him against the wall and just kills it, even cuts off his head. And then we see day after day of the nurse bringing in a new kitten for Matter Red to have companionship with. And we just see Matter Red just go and absolutely destroy these kittens. It reminded me of reading this, of watching The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And there's a cat in there. And I absolutely love this cat. I mean, just seeing the main character just interacting with this cat, and it was just really awesome to see. And then through the movie Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, there's a point in there where the female character gets raped, and it's really graphic, but it didn't really affect me all that much. But when I saw that the cat that was in the movie get mutilated and be brought to a doorstep, I just instantly was like, oh my god, that is so horrific. Who would do such a thing? But then I could look at that rape scene and be like, oh, okay, I haven't seen that before. But it's interesting, though, to see how in any type of entertainment, if an animal gets injured or hurt or killed, instantly us as humans are like, this is wrong, we gotta do something. But if somebody gets killed, like we see in so many movies, so many books, we really don't think twice about it. So just an interesting perspective. And especially for people who are just coming into this book and this is their first introduction to Bedlam. I know a lot of people will be so turned off by this opening scene. But it was so intricate to how Matter Red got rehabilitated. Because after 72 days, I believe, of just this kin, just a new kin coming every single day, there was success. And you just look at Matter Red and you're just like, wow. So interesting perspective of a person who's just so evil being rehabilitated. And you look at the cover and it says Bedlam. Is evil just something you are or something you do? And that's the real question with this issue. Because then we jump into 10 years later with a rehabilitated Matter Red, who is now going by the name of Fillmore Press. He has been hearing about these murders that's been going around Bedlam. And so to try to get the cops or this one detective's interest, he basically told the cops, I'm the one who did all these killings. So the cops go and take him into this interrogation room. Well, none of the cops believe that he actually did it. So eventually the detective comes in, and you see Fillmore Press just being like, oh my God, you're the one who I really wanted to talk to. And I did not do all those killings. I just want to talk to you and kind of help you through this murder investigation that's going on. And it's interesting to see this character that is so evil, or was so evil, and him now trying to help the cops and trying to almost redeem himself in this sick and twisted way through trying to figure out who did all the murders that's going through Bedlam. And it's interesting though, because eventually the cops do decide that Fillmore Press can help them out. And he asked the detective, he was like, I want to see the body. I can get a lot of info from the body. And it's just so sick and twisted the way that the artist does the way that Fillmore just looks at this dead body that's right by him, and just the way that the artwork is done with the writing is so freaking beautiful. It's just wonderful just to behold. There's just a sick and twisted place that Nick Spencer and Riley Rosmo are going into for this story. And it's more than just a comic book. It's a work of art. It's a guy going in and deconstructing a character. That's what we get out of this book, out of this whole entire series. And I don't know where it's going. Yes, there is this superhero element to it, but that's just in the background. That's just playing to a different tone. This book is so interesting, so different than anything else that's out there in comics right now, that you can just look at this book and just see from the cover and just, you get a different feeling for it. Reading this series, reading this, just every single issue, I am intrigued more and more. And how many comics can you actually say that for? Not very many. But you can know that Image is just hitting all the right notes. They're letting their creators create. There is times, especially with DC, I'm finding out, is that they're not letting their creators create their own masterpieces. DC kind of almost wants to kind of help their artists along and say, you guys got to go down this narrow pathway. Well, Image just opened up the door and said, hey, we're just going to be here to produce your books and put them out there in the shelves. But you guys, the artists, you do your art and make some beautiful artwork. That's what Nick Spencer, Riley Rosmo, and Fraser Irving are doing in this book. This book is high quality, worth that $3.50. Each issue, you know you're getting something fresh and new, an interesting perspective that you're not going to get out of most comic books in the industry right now. And how great is it? It's so freaking fantastic. Everybody should be picking this book up, from the artwork to the writing to the interperspective of a person who has went through so much, done so much evil, and seeing his sick and twisted mind after he's been rehabilitated. It's freaking amazing. I love this series. Love everything about it. I'm going to give this book a 5 out of 5. Does this make you want to go out and buy it? I sure hope so. That's what I have in the comic fix. I wanted to let you guys know what are the good comics, what you guys need to go pick up. And Bedlam is one of them. So if this doesn't make you want to go out and pick up this series, I don't know what does. But I do know that on Comixology right now, you get the first issue for free. And then you can pick up the second issue for $2 on Comixology. That's one thing I love about Comixology. You go to your local comic book store and pay $3.50 for Bedlam. Or you go in Comixology, wait for the next issue to come out, and instantly, when that next issue comes out of Bedlam, this issue number 3, will be dropped down to like $2. I mean, you're saving money and you're getting a great story. So if you're not thinking about picking it up as a floppy, go and just pick it up online and just just enjoy yourself. I want everybody to pick out this series because it's so freaking beautiful. Now on to the flagship for Marvel now, Uncanny Avengers issue number 3. It's funny though to see a lot of people online kind of complaining because it took 2 months for an issue to come out. Especially for Marvel. Marvel has been doing this one thing. They had Uncanny X-Force, which they put out bi-weekly. And it's so like hotcake. I mean, that series, as I was told by Rick Remender, just sold and was just so well told. Well, they saw that it worked, that us, the fans, are willing to buy a book that comes out twice a week. So now almost all Marvel books are bi-weekly, except for Uncanny Avengers. Now, I do know that I've heard some stuff about John Cassaday that, his artwork takes a long time, and everyone knew that this book was not going to be one of those books that come out bi-weekly. So I'm glad to see a writer and an artist kind of take their time with the book, and each time it comes out, it's more of a surprise, and we know we're in for some high-quality stuff. Now on to more of what's inside of this issue. There's been one thing that Marvel has been trying to do is bring back the X-Men to being back to what they originally were. They are the outcast of every single thing that is in the Marvel Universe. It's funny though, in the Marvel Universe, they could look at somebody like Captain America or Thor and not think anything of it, but God forbid if somebody has a different gene, oh my God, they have to be so evil stuff. Well, that's what Rick Remender is trying to bring back into the Marvel Universe. With this being the flagship title, everything goes by this book. So, in this issue, we got Red Skull basically showing his dominance over everybody. And what he has done in the first issue, he kind of jumped the shark with him taking the brain of Charles Xavier, which died in AVX, and basically putting Charles Xavier's mind into his own. So he now has the power of Charles Xavier, and that's comic books for you. I mean, there's so much disbelief in there, that so much things that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in the comic book world, and this is one of them. Like, I don't know how the hell it works, but I'm just in for the fun ride. So you finally see Red Skull basically going into the public and being like, everybody who has the X gene, you have to go and kill them right now. Some of these people don't even know they have the X gene, but what Red Skull does is he basically puts a mark on them, and that everybody who is not immune can see that that a person has the mark, and they know that they have to go and hurt this person. And so in this issue, we got basically Rick Remender bringing back the hatred that regular humans have towards mutants, which is kind of cool. I mean, I do like how Red Skull is this Nazi type of character, and he's basically doing the Nazi type of thing. So in that, I think that his character moments kind of work. And one of the best things about this issue was Alex Summers. Alex Summers is the brother of Scott Summers, who is Cyclops and who has been just god-awful. He's been such a dick, and he's been the one who's brought the mutant kind down and basically brought them back to what they originally were. And so we got Alex Summers, who's this character who disapproves for everything that his brothers is doing. And Captain America basically said, you need to be the poster boy for all mutants, and I am 100% behind you. Well, in this issue, we have Alex Summers and Captain America basically in the same battle. They're trying to take down Red Skull. And there's a point in there where Captain America basically tells Alex Summers what to do. And Alex Summers says, hey, this is not how this is supposed to work. I'm supposed to be the leader. I'm supposed to be the poster boy for our mutant kind. And if you're taking commands from me, that's going to show everybody that we are at the same level as humankind. And so there was interesting plot elements and character development in this issue. And the messed up things that Rick Remender does to the mutants and to anybody who has the X gene was quite riveting. I mean, just seeing how John Cassidy did the artwork for these scenes of... There's a scene in there where Red Skull sees this lady who has a baby in her hands. And he says the lady has the X gene. Kill her, but save the kid because he doesn't have the X gene. And it was just so... Oh my god. This book was so... bringing mutants down to the level that they were back in the day when Stan Lee was writing them. So it's just cool to see how they were bringing back everything to status quo. Because the mutant kind has basically been brought back to extinction, and now that everything is coming back. So it's just really cool to see how everything's coming back to status quo in the Marvel Universe through Uncanny Avengers. And if I haven't said so, John Cassidy's artwork is freaking beautiful. I can see why it took him so long, but he just does some really freaking good artwork. The ending of this issue just made you go, oh my god, I cannot wait for the next issue. And I like how Wolverine... There's been one point in the book where I was just waiting for this one scene where Wolverine finds out that Red Skull has massacred the body of Charles Xavier. And what would Wolverine do about that? Rogue tells him about what Red Skull did. And he, at this point, has not taken a life since Charles Xavier died. And he vowed never to kill again. Well, he heard about this and he was like, fuck that. And to see what he is going to do to Red Skull, it's just like, oh my god. There's so much good in this issue that I was entertained all the way through. And this is an issue where they're trying to bring everything back to a status quo, and I think they're doing that. And I'm really interested to see where Rick Remender's going to take this issue next time. If I have to wait 2 months, okay. I'll just go and reread this issue before I read the next issue, and I'll be right caught back up. Because this is what I had to do. I went and read issue 1 and 2 before I read 3, and I enjoyed the story that much more. I know there's some people who waited, didn't read the last issue, kind of forgot what the story was about, tried to jump in at this point, and they were not as successful as they thought they would be. But for me, going and reading issue 1, 2, and 3, I was able to enjoy the story, I believe, that much more. And it will probably be best for a reader to wait for this thing come out in a trade. And I think that'll be the best way to enjoy this series. But if you're in it, if you read the first 3 issues, had the first 3 issues, keep on going. You're going to enjoy yourself. But if you haven't, wait for the trade to come out. I think you'll be more happy that you did. So, Uncanny Avengers, issue number 3, will get a 4 out of 5. Now on to my last Marvel book and the last book for this video, and that is Young Avengers, issue number 1. I have been so disappointed with DC Comics Teen Titans that I looked at Young Avengers, and I thought, this is probably my fix for my teen heroes in a superhero environment. So I go into this book, right off the bat, I was freaking confused about who these characters were, what their relations were to one another. That it was just kind of like I had to go to Wikipedia to figure out what happened in the previous miniseries to other series that happened in the Young Avengers. So what I figured out is that at the end of one of these miniseries, the Young Avengers figured out that they're too young to be doing the superhero thing, and life is too dangerous as a superhero. So they decided to basically turn in the capes and go and live a regular teenage life. Well, in this issue, is kind of bringing back that the Teen Titans the Young Avengers are finally going to get back together and fight a common enemy. So it's basically just a status quo issue where it's setting up for all the next events that are going to be happening in the next coming issues. I do believe if you've been following Young Avengers, Yeah, Young Avengers. I got it right. Every single time I say young, I think of the new DC Nation show, Young Justice. So Young Avengers was definitely one of the setup issues and was not new reader friendly. Now, the interesting points of this issue was in the layouts. There has been so much greatness that's been in Hawkeye. And I've been waiting to see if Marvel is going to be integrating the comic paneling and the interesting new elements that they're bringing to comics with Hawkeye, and if they'll be bringing it into any of their other Marvel comics. Well, you do get that in here. You get these really cool panel layouts. You get 2 of these where it's like 16 panels per page. And it's pretty freaking cool. I mean, I don't want to see all my comics do that, but it freaking worked in this issue. I mean, I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the artwork immensely. And I'm interested to see where these characters, where this book goes. I'm going to give this book 2 more issues to kind of get to where the story's going to go. Because this is just setting the parts where are they now kind of thing. So, bottom line, this book is not new reader friendly, but it does do some interesting perspectives on the layouts and on the artwork. I'm interested to see where this goes. I wish I got... There's one thing about me. I look at variants, and I have the variant covers on my laptop as my what do you call it? As my wallpaper for my computer. And I always want to go out and pick it out, but my comic book store has this dumbass thing where they say, you have to pay $10 to $15 for all these variants. And it's like, God, man, I pay a lot of money and I just want to pay a regular price for these variants. So I don't pick up variants. But I really wanted to pick up the variant with the writer or the artist who did Scott Pilgrim. I saw his cover and I was like, God, I really want this, but I didn't want to pay the $15 that my comic shop was asking for, especially because I do spend like $30 something a week on my comics. So just that extra $15 on my comic haul would just be too much, especially now since I'm paying quite a bit for my place. But it still is not going to be affecting my comics because I got everything planned out. So that's it for this video. Oh yeah, if I didn't give a score for Young Avengers issue number 1, it'll be a 2 out of 5. You know, definitely was not new reader friendly, but I will be sticking around just to see where the story's going to go. And as you guys can tell, I'm kind of giving Marvel a little bit more of a chance. I've been reading a couple of their series like Captain America on my Comicology. And also I'm reading Fantastic FF on there, which I will be doing a review for that next week. So there's been some little bit more developments in the Marvel and my reading. And it's interesting though, looking at the Marvel and the way that they're going in for, with the Marvel Now, or as I like to hear it called, just the Revolution. It has this Silver Age feel to it, all this sci-fi elements to their stories. From Avengers with Jonathan Hickman to, of course, Fantastic Four to where they're taking Captain America and Dimension Z. It's just been all these fun sci-fi stories. And it's interesting to see that Marvel has kind of gone for that sci-fi element to it. And then to see what they're doing with the craziness in Superior Spider-Man. I do think that Marvel is doing quite interesting things. And DC... I know what to expect now. Marvel is kind of a wild card for me, and I'm kind of enjoying it, but I definitely won't be dropping any of my Marvel books or DC books until they go like crap like Catwoman did. So that was this video in reviews, and next I'm going to be doing my DC Comics with my Green Lantern books that came out. There's like 3 of them that came out this week with the New Guardians, or Rise of the Third Army. So look forward to that, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.